In the pleasure districts of 18th century Kyoto, one woman ran the most dangerous spy network in Japan, from a geisha house from behind a silk fan. She didn't dance for men. She didn't sing for coins. She didn't sleep for power. She killed for it. No official records bear her name. No portraits survive. But in the underground archives of the Machibu-gyo, the city magistrates, there's a file labeled O-Kiku, status neutralized, unconfirmed. Because when they came for her, they found only silence. And a fan, open on the pillow. This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is the true story of the geisha who ruled the underworld through fear, secrets, and blood. In 1732, during a famine in Japan, a 12-year-old girl named O-Kiku was sold by her mother to human traffickers for 3 bags of rice. She was taken to Kyoto and delivered to an okiya, a geisha house, in the Gion district. The madam gave her a new name, Yukiko. Removing a girl's real name made her easier to control. That night, a woman entered her room with a cup of tea. She told O-Kiku to drink it and say what she tasted. O-Kiku noticed a sharp, bitter aftertaste, like burnt almonds. She said, "It's poisoned." The woman confirmed it. The tea contained a small dose of arsenic, not enough to kill but enough to teach a lesson. Everything in this house can be used against you. From that night, O-Kiku began training. Not in dance or music, those came later. First, she learned surveillance. How to stand still for hours without moving. How to pour tea without spilling. How to listen to conversations without appearing to pay attention. How to memorize names, faces, and details. She also learned the consequences of disobedience. One girl was caught writing a letter home. She was forced to kneel on rice for 8 hours. Another was locked in a closet for 3 days after hiding money. O-Kiku obeyed every rule. She answered every question. She never complained. Within a year, the madam noticed her intelligence and memory. She began teaching her the real purpose of the okiya. It was not just a geisha house. It was a spy network. For decades, the house had collected secrets from politicians, warlords, and merchants who visited for entertainment. These secrets were sold to rivals, enemies, or anyone who could pay. By 16, O-Kiku was trained in detecting lies by watching eye movements and hand gestures, hiding small tools, needles, lockpicks, poison in her hair or sleeves, sending coded messages in poems, songs, or the way a fan was held, breaking into rooms and leaving without being seen. She was no longer just a geisha. She was an intelligence agent. At 18, she passed her final test. She stole a secret letter from a high-ranking samurai without speaking to him. She copied it and returned it before dawn. The madam promoted her. She was no longer Yukiko. She was now O-Kiku, a title given to top agents in the network. Her mission: gain access to powerful men, learn their secrets, use them to increase the network's power. She had no weapon, but her mind was more dangerous than any blade. O-Kiku's main tool was the folding fan, a common object in Japanese culture, but used by the network as a silent communication device. Each position, movement, or placement of the fan had a specific meaning. For example, fan held vertically in the left hand. He is lying. 3 taps on the knee. Urgent meeting tonight. Fan left open at the end of the night. Betrayal detected. Messages were also hidden in poetry. Geishas were expected to write short verses during gatherings. O-Kiku wrote poems that sounded romantic, but contained secret information. For example, the moon hides behind clouds. The crane flies west at dawn. The guest from Edo departs. This meant the man was hiding something. He was traveling west. He would leave Kyoto at dawn. Collected intelligence was sent through couriers, servants, or vendors working for the network. Messages were carried by fast runner or boat to Osaka, Nagasaki, or Edo. In 1745, O-Kiku ran her first major operation. A corrupt magistrate, Takeda Norimaza, was taking bribes and abusing women. The network wanted to control him, not kill him. O-Kiku studied him for weeks. She noticed he kept a notebook with records of his bribes under his pillow when he slept. One night she entered his room at 2 a.m. She copied every page, returned the notebook, and left. The network sent the evidence to a rival magistrate. He used it to blackmail Takeda. Say nothing, do as we say, or this becomes public. Takeda obeyed. He protected the network. He followed their orders. O-Kiku had proven her value. Over the next 5 years, she exposed a daimyo's plot to overthrow his lord, prevented the assassination of a tax official, leaked false information to weaken 2 rival families. She never carried a weapon. She never gave a direct order. But her intelligence changed the balance of power across Japan. The network called her the Silent Hand, because she moved without noise and changed everything. By 1750, she was in charge of training new agents and planning operations. She was at the height of her power. And that's when jealousy turned to betrayal. In 1751, Tokugawa Harunosuke, the son of a powerful shogun, arrived in Kyoto for a diplomatic tour. He was 28, arrogant, and used to getting what he wanted. He touched geishas without permission. He laughed when they resisted. He wrote about his actions in a private journal, which he kept locked and under his pillow. O-Kiku reported his behavior. The network decided to investigate. 2 nights later, a network servant picked the lock on his room. He copied 3 pages from the journal, then relocked everything. The pages revealed that Harunosuke had raped a maid from another house and threatened her family. He described the act in graphic detail, treating it as a trophy. The network had 2 choices: expose him or use him. They chose to use him. They sent the full journal copy to Daimyo Sano, a political rival of Harunosuke's father. No note, no demand, just the evidence. Sano met Harunosuke the next day. He said, "I know what you did. I have proof. If you cause trouble, it will reach your father and the emperor." Harunosuke agreed to behave. He stopped harassing women. He apologized to the Okiya. He left Kyoto early, but the network wanted more. O-Kiku sent a direct message to Harunosuke. "Only 1 page from the journal and a note. We have the rest. You will not speak of this. You will not investigate. You will leave quietly. If you obey, the evidence dies with us. If you do not, it will be sent to every daimyo in Japan." Harunosuke was forced to follow every instruction. He never returned to Kyoto. The network had just blackmailed the son of a shogun, and won. O-Kiku's power reached its peak. Officials feared her. Rivals avoided her. And the network had never been stronger. But her success drew attention. And one woman saw her chance. Her name was Yoshi, another top geisha in the same house. Beautiful, ambitious, and tired of living in O-Kiku's shadow. She had heard whispers that O-Kiku gave secret orders, that she met with couriers at night, that she had blackmailed powerful men. When Harunosuke left Kyoto in silence, Yoshi knew something was wrong. No high-ranking official left like that, unless they were being controlled. She made a move. She started a relationship with Magistrate Kuroda, who had authority over the pleasure district. One night, after drinking with him, she told him everything. The spy network, the coded fans, O-Kiku's role in controlling officials. Kuroda did not believe her at first. So Yoshi gave him proof. A decoded poem showing hidden messages. And a list of events that had been predicted. Because the network knew secrets in advance. Only then Kuroda realized the network was real. And it was too powerful to ignore. He reported it to the shogunate's internal security office. A decision was made. The network would be shut down. Its leaders would be arrested or killed. And O-Kiku, the most powerful agent, would be the first target. The raid was set for dawn in 3 days. But the network had an agent inside Kuroda's office. A warning reached O-Kiku that night. They come at dawn. 3 days, armed samurai. No mercy. O-Kiku read the message. She did not panic. She did not run. She sat still, fanned herself slowly. Then she began to plan. Not for escape, but for survival and revenge. On the night before the raid, O-Kiku acted. She did not warn the others. She did not organize a defense. Instead, she destroyed all evidence. She burned every coded message. She erased all records. She told the couriers to vanish and never return. Then she wrote a final message, not to her allies, but to her enemy. She had it delivered to Magistrate Kuroda's office. You will find nothing. You will catch no one. But know this, the network does not die with one house. It lives in silence, and it remembers. At 5 a.m., 50 samurai surrounded the Okiya. They broke down the doors. They searched every room. They arrested 10 staff members and 6 geishas. But O-Kiku was gone. Her room was empty. No clothes. No personal items. Only one thing remained. A silk fan placed perfectly on her pillow, unfurled. One word written in red ink: wait. The raid was a failure. No leader captured. No network dismantled. No proof of espionage. The arrested women said nothing. They claimed they were just entertainers. Without evidence, the magistrate had to release them within days. O-Kiku was never seen again. But the network did not stop. Secrets still moved. Powerful men still fell. And in the years that followed, every time a corrupt official was exposed or a predator disappeared, someone found a fan, slightly open. No one knows where O-Kiku went. Some say she fled to China. Others say she died in a fire in Nagasaki. But in Gion, the older Geishas still tell the story, and they still watch the shadows. Because if a man harms a woman under protection, he will be judged. O-Kiku was sold as a child, broken by the system. But she did not stay broken. She learned the rules. Then she rewrote them. She had no army, no title, no name in history. But for decades, the most powerful men in Japan feared a woman they never saw, because she watched from the shadows with a fan in her hand.